Hey, I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
This is Ken and Josh Go to the Movies, and today we will be reviewing our first in a possible series of classic movie reviews.
Oh, yeah.
So, the first classic we picked out was it 64?
1964.
Goldfinger, the third in the James Bond series.
Yes, and many would argue the very best James Bond movie ever made.
Certainly the one that set the mold for the rest of the series.
Most definitely. It's Sean Connery as James Bond, still the best James Bond, I think. And he...
Pierce Brosnan's good.
They all have their ups and downs.
Right.
But basically, he's in Miami, and he gets an assignment from his friend Felix to kind of watch this guy named Goldfinger, who is a gold dealer who somehow is smuggling gold in and out of the country. And
as a guy who's never seen this movie before, I thought Goldfinger would be a much more threatening character. He's just this, like, old, bald, fat white guy.
Yeah, I mean... He's kind of like the prototype for every Bond villain afterwards.
Right.
Businessman, kind of nefarious guy. He's not really...
A taste for stupid one-liners.
It's kind of the reason they always also have the secondary villain that's kind of this bizarre, quirky, one-note villain like
Oddjob
or Jaws or someone like that. But I think it's a cool combination that kind of set off the whole series of this mastermind and this really cool villain combination. It really works. But... yeah, so basically Bond is following this guy around, a couple of people die around Bond, and eventually he's captured by Goldfinger and he learns his nefarious plan.
Of course.
That's the whole setup. But I'm a huge James Bond fan. I've watched these movies since I was a kid.
I've watched everything since GoldenEye, but I definitely haven't watched most of the classics.
Yeah, I've seen probably all of them except maybe one or two. And this is my favorite James Bond movie. I love this movie a lot. It's definitely kind of the movie that influenced the action genre more than pretty much any other from the 60s. There's a couple others, maybe like Bullet.
I can definitely see the influence of the action genre.
Yeah.
Just the fact that this is a really goofy movie is what it kind of discovered, and it set the template for all the bad jokes and ridiculous plot twists that you see in other action movies. And not that I dislike this movie at all. It's really, really entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's a profoundly silly movie.
But the thing about it is a lot of action movies these days are about just topping themselves in non-stop action, and James Bond was about more of just like a lot of talking and a lot of slow moments punctuated with sudden bursts of action, and that's what I really liked, was it took its time. It's more about the writing of the characters and performances and not just action set pieces.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of dialogue and stuff, but I was expecting James Bond to be a little bit more suave and spy-like. I don't know. He's really I don't know what the word is.
He's kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick.
And that's why everyone loves Sean Connery so much, is it's not what you expect if you've seen some of the newer James Bond movies.
For instance, the moment where he, like, almost runs a girl off the road so that he can help her out later and get her phone number.
Yeah.
And not to mention, he almost rapes Pussy Galore. Pretty much. She's like resisting him and saying, no, and he, like, presses himself on her until she, like, gives in. Also, her name is Pussy Galore.
That's the joke of the series, is all the women have these bizarre names.
Right. I mean, it's just such a... They had to know what a silly name that sounded like, even back then.
Yes, that's why they picked it.
Right.
No.
By the way, Pussy Galore played by an actress named Honor Blackman, which I don't know if that's worse or better.
It's an awesome name.
Either way, it's an awesome name.
Awesome name. Yeah, but I mean, Sean Connery, he really nails the role, I think. I still say he's the best.
He's a little bit too visible to be a spy. He's like, I mean, in one of the very first scenes of the movie, he says, "Hey, Goldfinger, this is James Bond. I'm watching you, and I want you to lose at this poker game." And it's like he gives up the game right away.
Because he's cocky. That's who he is.
And when Goldfinger captures him, he's at first going to kill him in the famous laser scene.
That's like one of the greatest scenes ever.
Of course, it's a classic scene. But then Goldfinger stops it for... I still don't know exactly why.
It's because Bond says he knows something about Operation Grand Slam, and he doesn't want to risk having his whole thing compromised, so he takes Bond with him to...
But how would killing him compromise the plan?
Because he says that his other 00 agents know about it as well.
But then they already know.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what they know.
So I guess he was going to question James Bond later, but he never really gets around to that, because he's got to unveil his nefarious plan with a very elaborate scene, like a model that he sets up to all these people who he wants to involve in the plan, and then he immediately kills all of them.
There's a reason for that, too.
Okay, what's the reason for that one?
Because they all supplied him with money and other things, and so
Okay.
they all want their money back on this
Okay.
deal. And so they're all there, and he's going to pay them, and he doesn't actually want them as part of the plan. He's just
Right.
getting them to all be in that room at one time so he can kill them.
So he's like luring them with this model, and so then he
Yes.
kills them, so they're like distracted.
Yes, he
That
gets them
kinda makes
all there
sense.
together at once instead of going one by one and killing them.
That kind of
It's
makes
much
sense.
simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a lot of this movie still kind of defies imagination, but it's okay because you're. I mean, for old movies, kind of follow very different rhythms than new movies do, and sometimes, at least for me, and I know for a lot of other people, it's tough to be entertained by the old classics. This one, very entertaining from start to finish.
Yes.
Always something, even if it's kind of unintentionally funny, it seems like it's still really funny, and just very enjoyable, good action, everything just keeps moving at a great pace.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful, fun film. If you've never seen it, but you enjoy some of the newer James Bond movies like Casino Royale, you should definitely go back and check it out. It's worth your time.
Casino Royale was like the dark turn for the Bond series, but Bond, I mean, it's always been light, and it's always been kind of for kids, and it works like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No rating. Silly. It's got a rating of silly, which in this case is pretty good.
Mine's really dumb, but I give it 2 gold thumbs up.
Not gold fingers, gold thumbs.
Well, yeah.
All right. He didn't have a gold finger.
That'd be stupid, Josh.
Why?
Why would he have a gold finger?
I'm used to like Bond villains that like cry blood and shit. Why wouldn't he have a gold finger? I don't know. There's many, many mysteries within this movie, and I'll leave them to you when you watch it to decipher them all.
What, that he doesn't have a gold finger?
That's
not
exactly.
a mystery.
And why her name is Pussy Galore, and etc., etc.
The only mystery is Oddjob's hat.
Oh yeah, we discovered it does have a steel rim, otherwise he would have been able to get electrocuted towards the end of the movie. Spoilers,
We
by the way.
assume. It's over 40 years old, you should have seen it by now.
Yeah, so
And
you
the
know
villain,
who's
of course,
gonna
the
win.
villain's gonna die.
Of course. You know the formula.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. We'll do more classics in the future. I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
This is Ken and Josh Go to the Movies.